Friends, this is Jeff. As promised, we're launching Katie Whitlock's new podcast, Early Access, today. This is the first of a series of great interviews, starting with her conversation with Michael from Cincinnati. Michael is a triathlete, a newlywed, and an Enneagram 7. You can hear episode 1 right here on the Around the Circle feed, but make sure to subscribe to Early Access by clicking on the link in the show notes or looking for it in your podcast platform of choice. And with that, here's the first episode of Early Access with Katie Whitlock.
Welcome to Early Access. I'm Katie Whitlock. I'm here with my very good friend, Michael Vitucci. Michael, how are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling good. Happy to be here.
Good. Exciting. Michael, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself? I usually ask people kind of how they came to the Enneagram and how they know they are their number, but that's actually interesting today because we'll talk about that in a little bit. But tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am 28 years old, born and raised Cincinnati, Ohio, never left. Not because I didn't want to. Well, I guess I didn't really want to, but I am an IT auditor for a very, very large company. I do a lot of stuff, play a lot of video games. I like to read a lot of books. So I am training for an Ironman, which is in like 8 days. So that's very exciting. Coming up very soon. I'm getting married 3 weeks after that. Also very exciting. So a lot of very exciting things coming up in my life.
Yeah, so Michael and Sydney, his fiance, are very, very good friends of mine. There are my fiance, Jace. It's Michael and Sydney, and then there's another couple that we hang out with. So there's the 6 of us that kind of do life together. So the other couple, one of them is actually running the triathlon with Michael. And then Michael's fiance, Sydney, is doing the half triathlon. Is that what's called, a half triathlon?
Yeah, it's like a 70.3, which is the amount of miles. But yeah, hers is the day before, so we all get to cheer her on, and then ours is the day after, so she gets to cheer all of us on.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like a half marathon where you just do half of it and then you like leave at the halfway point.
No, it's like a whole separate.
I guess it wouldn't
event.
work like that. Yeah, because you'd have to leave halfway 3 separate times, I guess,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, which would not work.
Cool. I didn't know that. So yeah, Michael and Sydney are doing a triathlon / half triathlon, and then 2 weeks later they're getting married.
Yeah, it's been all of our free time is gone these days, so very excited to get some of that back in a few weeks.
So fun fact, I'm officiating their wedding, so we talk about their wedding quite often, and I was asking them, are you excited to be done with planning? Or are you not excited to be done with planning? And immediately both of you were like, oh, we're very ready to be done.
Yeah.
What are you guys going to do? You're going to have
hopefully
nothing. Much time back.
Hopefully nothing. I mean, we've been going nonstop for the last like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Like over like the entire summer, we've had stuff back to back to back to back to back to back. And it's just, hopefully, I mean, we say this all the time. We're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to have the whole month of nothing. And then we'll inevitably fill it with something else and be like, oh, can't wait for all this to be over. Cycle repeats.
Okay, Michael, so this is normally when I ask people about what's your journey with the Enneagram and what number are you? And yours is a little different, but what would you say?
I would say I'm around any like conversations about the Enneagram a lot, just by virtue of like hanging out with you, like in your family too.
Right.
So like I've listened to a few like the Start Here podcast, right? I've listened to like a couple episodes of that. I've done a bit of reading about 7s just because I've heard, oh, you sound like a 7. Like I think yeah. So like I've done a bit of reading, like on a very surface level, but I haven't really dove. I haven't really gone a lot deeper into like the details of that stuff. With the exception of the past like day and a half, I've certainly watched some videos in preparation, but that's
I sent Michael some questions about being a 7. So the point of this podcast, what I want to do, I'm actually really interested in this. Normally when I interview people, they know what number they are. And actually what we're going to do, I know Michael pretty well. I'm pretty sure he's a 7. But we're going to go through points of being a 7. And Michael's just going to kind of respond and say like, yes, I relate to that. No, I don't. Here's why. So I'm actually pretty interested to hear what you are going to say. But yeah, Michael is a very, very good sport. There were a few months, and probably still today, where just every time we hung out, it ended up on the Enneagram, and he was very sweet about it. So. Do you? Okay, this is a real question, and it's not going to hurt my feelings because I don't care. As you're looking through all of this stuff, is any of it valuable, or are you just like, yeah, I don't really care? Like, I have other things going on in my life. I don't really care.
I have always been really interested in like personality quizzes and like Myers-Briggs, like DISC communication stuff.
Yeah.
Like we've done, like I've done all kinds of tests and analyses, whatever, just to try and figure out, tell me about myself a little bit. So like I do find it really, really interesting. I find portions of it valuable, but there's still like a part of me that kind of says, you can't put me in a box. Like, you can't tell me everything about myself.
How dare
like,
you? Yeah.
I realize that I don't think it's trying to tell me everything, like every little thing about myself. But yeah, there's like a small piece of me that's like, like I think I identify with a lot of it, but like, that bad part over there, that can't be true. Like, that's not
That can't be me. Right. What I say during my classes when people say, how dare you put me in a box? I think when you really get into the Enneagram, if you ever, not you specifically, Michael, the general you, if you ever care enough to get deeper into the Enneagram, your number is the box you are already in, and the Enneagram's trying to show you how to get out of it, right? So you are more in a box than you realize is what I try to tell people. But I think we have a natural human instinct to like buck against it.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, let's get into it. I have picked 4 things about 7s that I want to talk about with Michael. For anybody who does know Enneagram, they're going to be being in the independent stance, his vice or his sin or his passion, depending on what you call it. For 7s, it's gluttony. The third one is living life in the positive half, which we've actually already heard you talk about a little bit. It's like come out of your mouth a little bit already. And then the last one is his stress move, which actually a lot of 7s I find don't super relate to, but we'll talk about it anyway. So the first one I want to talk about is the being in the independent stance. So I really want to talk about this because your fiance, Sydney, she's either a 1 or a 2. We're not super sure, probably a 2, but she is certainly in something we call the responsive stance. So your stance in the Enneagram is your social style. It's how you get what you want. There is independent, which is you and me, 3, 7, and 8. Mm-hmm. That is like, there's very few things that could happen to me that I couldn't work my way around. That is, I don't super feel obligated to other people if I don't want to. That is, we just have this like illusion of control about our lives that other people do not carry with them. The responsive stance, which would be Sydney and our friend Cosette, that is responding to people. It is responding to environments. It is feeling obligated to people. So those people struggle with like the word should, or like what, like I should do that, right? I don't want to, but I should. And then my lovely fiance, Jace, and our other friend Matt are in the withdrawn stance, which is similar to us. They don't feel really obligated to things, but if you watch them, they'll like take a step back from things, or they'll kind of withdraw into themselves to not have to deal with it. And you and I don't do that.
Yeah.
So independent stance numbers often get called like big. Sometimes like we're big in the room. We take control of the room. Even if we don't want to, like especially 7s don't really want to, but like people respond to us like we're big in the room and all these things. So I sent all that to you earlier. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you did a little bit of your own research as well. What are your initial thoughts about whether you relate to that or not?
Yeah.
Are there any parts, especially if there's any parts where you're like, no, I don't think that is me?
Well, the one that immediately, the thing that you mentioned about the illusion of control is kind of gut punching, right? Because like I read kind of the little excerpt that you sent me, and it's like I do strongly identify with feeling like I'm very in control of everything in my life. Like there's rarely something that comes across my plate that I'm like, oh no, I'm stuck. What do I do? Or if I do, it's very fleeting, and I start immediately thinking about, okay, what can I do to fix this, or what can I do to overcome whatever obstacle, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And I sometimes find that as I don't want to say like a struggle, maybe it's a struggle, but when I talk with other people about problems that they have, right, I recognize that this is a fault of mine, right, but it's hard for me to sometimes understand or sympathize because they'll say, oh, like, I'm having this issue, like, I'm really struggling with this thing. And my initial thought is like, okay, like, what have you done about it?
Exactly.
And it's like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, like, you're in this rut. Here are 3 concrete things that you can do to get out of it. So, like, come talk to me when you've done
1, 2,
those
3.
and we're still stuck. And then, like, we'll figure out something else. And it's...
Yes.
And I know that sometimes that's not what people need to hear. But it's not like something that I control. I feel like it's just the way my brain works. So, like, you use the quote, like, take life by the horns, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've actually found that, I don't want to get too down the rabbit hole of religion, right? But I think maybe that's where some of my hesitancies with religion come from, because in my mind, I'm saying, why would you put, like, these issues, right, or your life in someone else's hands when, like, that's not going to help you. You got to get up and go do it and fix whatever.
Yeah, I don't need a guiding light. Like, that doesn't, Yeah.
And
I don't need someone to tell me what to do. I know what to do.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, I've been reading quite a bit about it, and it's like, I read one thing where I guess it kind of resonated with me, but it was like, maybe 7s have this fear of, like, being trapped and no one can or will help you, so you need to make sure that you can do it yourself, and not to rely on other people to get you out of whatever problem or rut that you're in. You need to be able to kind of handle it yourself. So I definitely resonate.
And you relate
with that.
to
Yeah,
that?
big time.
Really?
Big time. Yeah, I mean, when I get sad or have issues, like, I typically never ask for help. And I say, okay, I can do this. I'll fix it. It'll be great. And we'll be the better.
Well, what
for
am
it.
I going to do? Not fix it? Like, that's where it always ends up for me. Like, yeah, I could sit here, or I'm going to fix it either way. So why wouldn't I just go ahead and fix it?
Yeah.
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 I also, the biggest thing I see in my life with this is when I look at people who are not in this stance. I think one of the hard things about being in the independent stance is, well, I think it feels good, but it doesn't make us very good, like, partners all the time, is I do not feel obligated to fix your problems. Whereas I see people like my mother or Sydney or Carzette, like, our beautiful friends who are in this responsive stance, like, they will do anything for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I won't. Right? I just won't. I would love to say that I would, but I really won't, because I just don't
need to
feel like that, right? Like, I feel like you should solve your own problems. I love you and I'm here to help, but at the end of the day, it's your own problem.
Yeah. And, like,
right?
my initial, like, reaction is like, hey, just learn how to say no. Like, if I'm talking to Sydney, right, and people have issues or something or whatever, and, like, she's so much more generous than I am. She's so much more empathetic with people than I am.
Same.
And, like, I love that about her. But, like, sometimes, like, I've got it's almost like, maybe it's a bad thing, but, like, I've gotten really good at just saying no.
Yeah.
And, like, prioritizing me, right? Which can be a good thing or a bad thing, if you do it too much. But just say no. And then...
Yeah, I always tell... So my mom, anyone who's listening, my mom's a 2. And one of the things she's learned, because she's in the responsive stance, she's learned that before she does anything for somebody, she has to ask herself, like, did this person ask for help? Is it my problem? Like, is it mine to do? Can I actually help them? Or am I just doing this because it, like, occurred to me and now I feel like I need to do it, right? And I don't relate to that part. Like, if something occurs to me, I don't automatically feel obligated to do it.
Yeah, that brings up another thing that I identify with, where it's like, Sydney will, like, oh man, my head hurts. And, like, I know she wants, like, an ice pack for her head or something. And I'm sitting there, like, in my head, I'm like, if you ask me to get it for you, I'll get it for you. But, like, until you ask me, I'm not going to do it. Like,
I'm training you right now.
Or, like, if somebody, like,
because
is venting,
here's the
right?
thing.
It's the same thing.
The good thing about her is that if you said that, she would get you an ice pack, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you were like, oh, my head hurts, she would get up and get you an ice pack.
Immediately. If I have the slightest complaint about something, she'll start doing something to help me.
Right.
Like I said, she is better than I am. I can admit it.
Jace is better at that than I am as well. I don't. Listen. I want to move on to the next part, which is the vice. Some people call it the sin. speaking of religion, that has a lot of really bad connotations to it. But your vice, each number has a vice. It is something that just trips you up over and over and over again. Like, it affects you in a way that it does not affect other numbers. You struggle with it in a way that other numbers do not, right? Mine is, as a 3, it's self-deceit. So I believe that I am somebody that I am not. I'm sure you've seen that. Like, I have a little bit of performance about me in a way that like is not healthy or funny or cool. 2s is pride. So that's like taking care of other people without letting yourself be taken care of. That's like a level of pride there. For 7s, it's gluttony, which I think needs a little bit of explanation if nobody's ever heard of this. Gluttony is not a physical gluttony, although it can be if you're like at a buffet and it's really fun.
Can't stop myself.
But it's a mental gluttony. So 7s are in the head triad. So we're talking about a mental gluttony. So it is an insatiable desire to fill oneself up with experiences and like stimuli, basically. So 7s always want to have something to look forward to, or they don't like being bored. Like Michael will tell you, I spend a lot of time at my house, but you're like playing video games, right?
Yeah,
or you're reading a book,
something.
or you're doing something. Yeah. So anyway, talk about that. Do you see that in your life?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that jumps out, I think I already kind of touched on it in my intro, right? But like, here I just got done saying like, oh, I'm really good at saying no. And then I like fill my calendar every single weekend with something to do. Like last summer, we had a very busy summer. It was like we had maybe 2 free weekends out of 12.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy.
At the end of the summer, Sydney and I looked at each other and we're like, okay, we're not doing this again next summer. Like, we're not putting anything on the calendar. Like, we're going to just hang out. We'll get to do whatever we want to do. And then this summer was busier than last summer because we like, oh, let's pick a wedding date, right? September 27th, let's go get married. Hey, there's this Ironman like 3 weeks beforehand. Like, we could fit it in. And then all of a sudden, all of our time is gone. Right. And it's like, we're just busy doing stuff all the time. And when I'm not, I'm sitting at my computer, I'm playing video games, or I have a new book to read, or, you know, whatever the case may be.
Or you're texting our group chat and you're like, there's something this weekend, like we should go, or whatever, right?
Yeah. And it's like, I like being open. Like, I like having free weekends because if there's a festival on the weekend, I can, like 2 days beforehand, I can say like, hey guys, let's go do this. But now I put myself in this cycle where like, I don't have time to do any of the things I want to do because I'm too busy doing all of the things that I want to do, or that I wanted to do, right?
Wanted to do, yeah.
So
I've had some 7s. That's actually really interesting. I've had some 7s tell me, I think part of this, we talk about anticipation is really big for 7s. So like, I've had some 7s tell me almost the anticipation of something is better than the actual thing. Do you relate to that at all? Like, the anticipation of going on this trip or the visit or the thing is almost even better than actually being there, because when I'm there, like, life gets in the way. Like, people get sick, or there's traffic, or somebody misses their flight, or whatever. There's like feelings that I have to deal with from other people, right? But when I get to think about all these things I get to do, that's really fun. Do you relate to that?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, absolutely. So like, for example, with this Ironman, right? Like, I sign up for an Ironman that's 8 months in the future or something. All of a sudden, like, I'm watching documentaries about the national championships that happened last year, or I'm watching YouTube videos on how to improve my swimming form. And it's like, I have all of this fun to do in the meantime in preparation for the thing. And like, don't get me wrong, like, on the day it will be a blast, I hope, right? I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Maybe for you it'll be a blast. I think I would die, but
I hope it's going to be fun, right? But like, that's one day of fun that comes and goes. But I also built myself like a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, however many hours of fun leading up to it, kind of thinking about it and like preparing for it and all that stuff, which is really fun.
I had someone tell me once that 7s are light ninjas, and what they meant by that was that they always like go towards the light. That sounds like you're dying, but they're like always jumping. They're like jumping out of the dark into the light. So in any situation, they can find a way to make it fun, which actually anyone listening, I made Michael and Sydney, and because I'm officiating their wedding, I made them answer questions about each other that I could like use in my speech. One of them was like, what do you love about the other person? And that was one of the things Sydney said about you, was that you can make anything fun, right?
That's so sweet.
Where does that come from? Like, what happens if something's not fun?
I leave. Like, it's
Got it. If anyone ever needs to know anything about sevens, just cut that part.
Well, I've said this to Sydney multiple times, like when we're out doing something, and it's something that I think I like learned maybe when I was in college, like going out on the weekends, whatever. And it's like, it's so much better to leave somewhere while you're still having fun than to stick around until it gets boring. Like,
Right.
I'd rather, like, if the second something, and I realize what this is going to sound like coming out of my mouth, but like the second something
okay. We all have our things.
stops becoming, like, isn't fun, it starts to become less fun, I'm like, let's leave, we'll have great memories of how this night went, like, we're not going to be bored, whatever, we're tired, let's just go. Rather than stick around, it's like, I'm bored, let's just leave, kind of thing.
Is it I want to leave so that I keep these good memories, or is it I want to leave so that I'm not stuck here because this is boring now?
I mean, probably both. There's been so many situations in which I, like, want to leave, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm spending 30, 45 minutes gathering up the courage to just stand up and be like, well, I'm going to go, guys.
I'm going to go, yeah.
And it's like, well, I could have just, like, I could have been home, like, playing video games or doing something that I want to do. Like, I could already be doing that by now if I had just stood up and said, like, well, it's been fun. See you guys later.
Yeah. So I think that's, especially for sevens, I think that's a big part of the independent stance. I keep using, you're not feeling obligated to feelings. I think that's because I'm a 3. But I think that's also a big thing for sevens. Like, I don't feel the need to stay here.
Yeah, I feel like
Right?
if I get up and leave, I don't think you're going to, like, hate me because of it.
Do you ever get in trouble with the people around you because they were like, you need to stay, like you have to see it to the end?
No, I don't think anybody's given me crap about it or anything like that. I did get a reputation, like, it was like my freshman, sophomore year of college. I did get a reputation for the Irish goodbye, where I would just be like, I just leave. Like, I'm not funny anymore. It's like, or I say, like, well, I'm heading home. And they're like, oh, there he goes again. Like, he's leaving.
That's funny. So the other part of gluttony is boredom. You're trying to avoid boredom, and you're trying to avoid feeling stuck. Like, when you are in these situations where you're hanging out and you're having a bunch of fun with these people, what happens that makes you think, okay, this isn't fun anymore, I'm going to go home?
I mean, sometimes it is because, like, there's something else I'd rather be doing, or like I get a lot of enjoyment sometimes out of just, like, sitting in my bed. There's a candle on, there's ambiance, like, I got like a YouTube relaxing beach waves, and I'm reading a book or something. And, like, that is, like, really, really fun to me.
Yeah.
And so if I even get, like, a little bit tired if I'm out and I'm like, wow, that bed is really inviting right now, like, I can't wait to go do that, then I think it really is typically, there's something else that I want to do more. Not that I'm not having fun, or I would just rather be doing something else.
Even if this is 98% fun, it sounds 99% fun to be at home in my bed, so I'm going to go do that.
Yeah. I mean, when you say it like that, like, I don't want to feel like I'm, like, just, like, ditching people, like, something else better came along, but, like, I mean, sometimes it kind of does feel like that.
Well,
It sounds really
I think
crappy,
it's okay.
but, like, it does kind of sound like that.
well, we all have, I mean, I could go into all the stuff I do that's really crappy, but that's not what we're talking about today, so.
We're talking about all the
so
things
I
I'm
think-
crappy about.
That you're crappy about, exactly. Right. I'm the interviewer, you're the interviewee, so. I think that's one of the things that people misunderstand about sevens, because other people wouldn't leave unless they were, like, straight up not having a good time anymore, right? But what I have heard is going on in sevens' heads. It's not that I'm, like, not having a good time, but I do know that I could have a better time somewhere else.
Yeah, and maybe the whole,
And I want to go have a better
like,
time.
I don't feel obligated to you. Like, I don't feel obligated. Like, if hypothetically, this would never happen, Katie.
Sorry,
This would never happen.
yeah.
But you're hosting, right?
Right.
we're at your
right.
guys' place,
Yeah.
and I, like, God, it, like, feels weird to say this, but, like, I mean, perhaps, right? I'm not saying concretely, but, like,
Yeah.
perhaps in my head, right? Maybe I'm saying, like, I would rather go do this other thing And
Yeah.
as a 7, I don't feel like an obligation to your feelings.
Right.
So I'm going to go do this other thing. Bye.
Right. I think that's true. I think, so one of the goals of this podcast is to have people speak really honestly about, like, even though I know that this is bad and I wouldn't do it in real life, I would still think it, right? Mm-hmm. So say all that stuff out loud, because there will be other people who are listening and they're like, I do that too, right? So no, Michael has never just got up and left my house because he doesn't want to be there anymore. But there are certainly, I'm sure, times where the thought has come up. The thought has come up. I do that too. This one is a fun one. So number 3 is, we say that 7s live in the positive half of life. So if there is a, let's say, number line of all the emotions ranked most positive to most negative, 7s only deal with the positive half of that emotion line, right? Because they want to. Why would you ever do anything in the negative? Why would you stay there? I get that negative feelings have to happen, but don't you all also want to get out of it as soon as possible? All of these things. Michael's laughing. Why are you laughing?
Well, I was thinking to myself, like, ahead of this call, right? Like, sometimes maybe I shouldn't, right? Because, like, this is, like, not necessarily a good thing all the time, right? But, like, sometimes I'm, like, proud of the way that I can regulate my emotions, right? Like, I remember...
What does it mean to regulate what do you do? Are you getting back to positive when you say you're regulating your emotions?
Yeah, the quote that I think of, it's like, it's funny, right? When, like, someone's sad and you say, have you ever tried not being sad? But like, that's like a real thing for me. Like, like, I can never say that to someone because not everybody operates that way. But like, for me, it's like, oh man, I'm sad. How about I just don't be sad instead? And then I'm not sad. And it's like...
Are you really not sad anymore?
I think, okay, it's not just like a flip of a switch. It's very much like the word we always use is reframing, right? So like, it's not that I can just flip a switch and I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I'm not sad. It's like, okay, well, this bad thing may have happened to me, but like, wait, hold on. Like, there's all these other good things. Like, if 10% of my life is bad and 90% of it is good, like 90% is still an A. Like, that's still pretty good. Like, I can't complain too much about that.
The silver lining of the silver lining.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I'm very good at, oh, this bad thing happened, but actually, maybe it's a good thing because XYZ or, whatever.
Right.
It is.
My friend who calls 7s light ninjas, I think that's also what she's referring to. Like, no matter how dark this place is, like, a 7 can get out of it because they can remember the one pinprick of light that they saw, a month ago and, like, go back to that. Do you ever get in trouble with people for trying to leave dark situations too quickly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So...
Really?
I mean, I guess, yeah. So, like, I feel like I sometimes have a hard time, maybe not empathizing, but like when someone has something, so like, for example, right, if Sydney has something bad happen to her at work or something didn't go her way and she needs somebody to talk to about it, like I'm her person to talk to, and sometimes I'm not very good at being that person because she comes to me with an issue and she's very sad about it, and I'm saying immediately like, oh, well, actually, maybe it's not that bad because of whatever. And she's like, no, it is bad. Like, I'm sad. And then have you tried not being sad? Like, obviously, I would never say that. But, like, that's kind of, like, the internal monologue that I'm trying to maneuver around and, like, just listen. Like, be a mature person and just listen to her problems without trying to immediately solve them or tell her that they're not actually problems.
I have another friend who's a 7. She's a mom. She's probably in her 50s, so her kids are grown up. And she was telling me her daughter called her like a month ago, and my friend who's a 7 was in the car with her husband, and so the phone call was like over the car speakers, right? And her daughter was complaining about something, very valid, complaining about something, not just like complaining, like telling her mother about a real problem that she had. And my friend, the 7, was telling me that her immediate reaction was either to just hand the phone over to her husband so that like she didn't have to hear it anymore, or just literally hang up. like in the middle of like her daughter talking about something, like be like, oops, and like hang up the phone.
You're breaking up. Sorry.
You're breaking up. Sorry. Cause she's like, it feels, I guess this is my question for you. She was saying like, she literally will get like a little panicky if she feels like she's about to be stuck in like a hard conversation or a bad conversation. Do you feel that way? Do you get like restless?
Yeah. And one thing that I've, so Sydney and I have talked about this too, where it's like one issue that I've recognized that I have sometimes is like if I'm in a tough conversation, Sydney and I are having a disagreement, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
And like we're in a situation or an environment where we have to talk about our feelings or be vulnerable with one another or whatever, and
Right.
like maybe she's mad at me for something, right? And I don't feel like it's justified. I will. Or I'm trying to be better about this, right? But I'll just apologize, even if I don't think I'm wrong at all, just to speed up the conversation so we can move on. Like,
Right.
I'll just take
Which
the
I'm
fall.
sure she does not. She does not appreciate that.
She does not appreciate that. And we've talked about that. We're working on it, right? But like, she's like, I don't want you to apologize if you don't think you're wrong. Like, if you don't think you're wrong, tell me why, and we can talk through it.
Right.
And that's like the last thing that I want to do. I'd rather just slap a Band-Aid and move on sometimes, which again is not the most healthy thing to do.
Yeah. Because it sounds like, so sevens I don't think have a lot of ego wrapped up in themselves. Like, it's not about me or like looking good or wanting to be right. Like, I'll admit, sure, I'll say sorry and take the blame if we can stop talking about it.
I don't.
Is that what it feels
I don't.
like?
I don't need to be seen as right. I mean, sometimes maybe there's a little bit of narcissism that comes in, but I'm like, I know I'm right. I don't need you to think I'm right.
I don't need you to know.
I am. So I'll just say sorry and let's move past this.
Yeah. Let's move on. Is it, as you've gotten better at that, do you feel physically any better when that happens to you, or are you just more comfortable sitting with being uncomfortable?
You mean like not just
Does that make
slapping
sense?
a Band-Aid and moving on, and like actually having
Yeah,
a
so like
conversation?
when, yeah, when you are actually having a conversation now, because now we have the skills to do
Yes,
so.
yes.
What has changed? Is it that they don't make you as uncomfortable anymore, those conversations? Or have you learned that it's okay to be uncomfortable and to sit in the uncomfortable?
I've learned to an extent that it's okay to be uncomfortable, because when I voice my feelings to her and I say like she calls me out for something, and I'm like, inside I'm like, this is not worth this reaction. Like, I think I'm totally right here. And I say that, she doesn't respond poorly. Like, she responds much more positively to that, and we have
she's a very emotionally mature person.
And it typically resolves just as quickly because she's thankful that I'm like talking about how I'm feeling, and we get past it just as easily. But it doesn't make it easier for me to do that.
Yeah,
I still don't like to do it. So
yeah.
I guess yes, it's easier, but also I still don't like doing it.
Right, of course. I understand. I'm bringing up a different story now, but I was on, actually, it was Sydney's bachelorette trip. Your sister was there. How much older is your sister than you?
She's 4 years older than me.
4 years older. And she's an 8 for anybody listening. She was talking about how Michael is the mediator in your family.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to like say what you're mediating or whatever, but she was like, Michael's always the because she's like, I'm an 8, so like I'll just say whatever because it's true.
Oh, yeah, she's the first person to just tell you how it is.
Yeah, she's like, I'm the first person. I'll tell you how it is. I don't care. And she's like, Michael's always the one that's trying to find the middle ground between people. Why do you think that is?
It's funny that you bring this up, right? Because I actually like jotted down like a note or two ahead of this because I thought we might talk about this. But like I find myself sometimes playing both sides. Like typically like my mom and my sister butt heads a little bit because they're like best friends and they're super close, and so it just kind of comes with the territory. I find myself playing both sides, not with like any malevolence or anything, but more just to like keep the peace a little bit. It's another one of those things that I wrote down where it's like, if they start getting into a disagreement or something and they talk to me about it, I will try to just exit the situation as quickly as possible. Or I'll just not get involved, right? And I'll say, they'll figure it out, like they don't need me, but it's like my family. So like I really should
Right, of course.
help somewhat, but I don't know. It's just like I'm super uncomfortable when people are in disagreement with one another in front of me.
unhappy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I typically will find myself saying like to my mom, right? Like, hey, I know you feel this way and that's totally valid, but like I think she probably just feels this way, which is also totally valid, right? Like, have you ever thought about that before? And like the
Right.
same
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
vice versa, and just trying to like maybe ease the tension a little bit without getting directly
Right.
involved.
Right. A lot of sevens, because of that, might think they're nines. Nines are super worried about conflict. Like, they don't want conflict ever. They don't ever want to be
Right.
fighting with anybody. They want their life to be very stable. But what I would point out is maybe, like, are you doing that just like you want to live life in the positive half? And if other people are in the negative half around you, that's like bringing the vibe down. So sevens kind of want to bring everyone back up into positive, just because then everyone's positive. It's not that everyone stopped fighting. It's that now everyone is positive again. Is that what it feels like?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get back to normal.
Yeah, it becomes like when it's starting to affect me, then I'm starting to have issues where it's like, you
Right.
guys can fight with each other away from me and like that's fine.
Right.
But like when we all start to hang out as a family and the vibes are off, I'm like, oh, guys, come on. Like, can we please?
Guys. Okay, that's funny. Your sister was telling me that because she's an 8 and she's like, I just say it how it is. And she's like, I know that on some level he agrees with me, but he just wants things to go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
And so then he'll play the middle ground,
Yeah.
right? Or he'll play whatever, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Anyway.
I was gonna say, the last thing I'll say is like, she has told me that before. Like, she's come to me and be like, you need to get involved. Like, you know that I'm right and somebody else needs
Right.
to like tell my mother that she's wrong.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like,
Because if it's just coming from me, she's not going to
exactly.
listen.
But if it's
Yeah.
coming from me,
Yeah.
someone who typically plays the sidelines, like, it's going to hit so much harder. It's going to mean so much more. And I like, that's the last thing that I want to do is like,
Because
just bring up conflict with my mother. I don't want things to be weird between
Yeah.
myself and my mother. Like, we
Yeah,
have a great
I understand.
relationship. Like, don't make
Yeah,
your
yeah.
crap put on me and now I gotta
fine.
deal with it.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. I want to talk about the stress move to 1. So in the Enneagram, when we talk about stress, all that means is that when your regular stuff of being a 7, like the reframing and the being positive and all these things, when that's not really working anymore, in every number, when your regular things are not working anymore, we say go to your stress number. And that just means you pick up behavior of this other number in like a subconscious attempt to make things better, right? So 7s go to 1. What that means is that 7s might get a little nitpicky. They might get a little bit of like a little bit of a grandstand, like, this is the right way to do things. Like, just follow me. I know the right way to do things. I'm the only person who knows who knows how to do things, right? Do you relate to that at all? Do you relate to this, like, there's like a single pointed focus that maybe you don't normally have and you get really like detail oriented about things? Does that happen to you? Does any of what I just said happen to you?
A little bit of the, I don't know if it's moral grandstanding, but like when you mentioned like, we need to do this in this specific way because I know it's the right way to do it and that's the way it's going to happen. There's this quote has actually stuck with me for several years. In college, I think it was like my freshman or sophomore year of college. And I know I'm kind of jumping around here, right? But I don't know if I attribute this to like being in stress. And maybe it was at the time, or maybe it still happens this way, where I don't remember exactly what I said, right? But I said like, I want to do this thing, right? And I'm going to do this thing, whether you guys, like my friends, want to do it this way or not. Like, this is the way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And Vitucci is my last name, right? And someone said like, oh, it's the Vitucci way or the highway. And like, I'll never forget that because it made me be like, am I trampling what other people want to do? Because like, this is what I want to do. And I get Sydney, my family, everybody else at me for this for cooking too. Where it's like, it's I don't know what happens in my head, but somehow I start to think that people have never cooked a meal before in their life because the way they're making it isn't the way that I do it, and the way I do it is the right way. So I'm like, why are you doing it this way? Why don't you do it this way? And they call me a helicopter cook. So like, it does pop up in different parts of my life a little bit, like that kind of thing. And I've never really attributed it to like being in stress, but I've never also looked at it through that lens.
Through that, yeah.
So, right. I mean, maybe it is, and maybe that stuff starts to pop out when I'm feeling down or in a rut. So
yeah, I think so what I was about to say is like, also what stresses each number out is different. It's not just like, oh, I'm stressed today. Enneagram specifically, stress is when you aren't getting your core motive, is what we call it. So like when you do feel down, when you feel in a rut, when you feel like you can't pull yourself back into the light where you like to be, right? Like when that happens, what do you do? And it kind of sounds like you did relate to some of it.
Yeah. There are times when I find myself like, there will be a whole day where I'm just feeling like down or sad, which almost never happens. Like, I don't want to say I pride myself on like never being sad, right? But like,
you can say that.
Like,
it's okay.
I like, like you said before, like who would want to be sad? Like I like being happy. I don't like being sad. So why would I be sad when I can be happy? Whatever.
Yeah.
And there are times when like it is tough to kind of do that reframing or change the mindset a little bit, and I just feel melancholic for an entire day. And those are the days when I typically really withdraw into myself and I do things by myself. I don't want to talk to anybody, like and that honestly what ends up happening is I get overwhelmed with like I have all these things I have to do and I don't ask for help from anybody and I just go do the things and I do them my way and I like don't say anything about it. And like Sydney, who's lives with me, right? We're engaged. She is like, something's off with you, and I'm immediately.
Are you okay?
She's like, what is going on? And I'm just like,
right.
I got all this stuff to do. Leave me alone.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Very much so.
Leave me alone. We talk about. So one of the hard things about I think being a 7 is that the people in your life kind of rely on you to bring like the fun. And then the one day that you don't feel like bringing the fun to everybody's life, people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I mean by that is 7s don't often have a lot of incentive to like do this kind of self-work because this self-work makes you not as fun all the time. Like it makes you okay sitting in negative stuff and not needing to reframe, which to everyone else just looks like you not being fun anymore.
Yeah, that sounds a lot less fun and a lot less happy to sit in your bad feelings.
Yeah, so like why would I ever want to do that, right? And the rest of us in your life would be like, is Michael okay?
Yeah.
Like he's not like laughing out loud every 30 seconds. Like, is he okay?
Yeah. And that actually reminds me. So we were having dinner with your parents on their rooftop, right? And this was like, I think one of the earlier conversations around like, you guys might think that I'm a 7. And your mom actually was like, oh, everybody wants to be a 7. Like everybody wants to be a 7.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. Like, that's me. Like, okay, great.
Yeah.
I like don't like that, but that's it though, right? Like everyone wants to be a 7. Great. There's so much fun. And then I avoid and ignore reading about it because I don't want to know all the flaws and everything about it.
I'll just learn all the good stuff. Yep. I did. So my aunt, who is a 7, she's in Suzanne Steele's Enneagram cohort this year, which is what I did last year when I was going to Dallas all the time. And she's like, I've never thought about myself in this way ever. Like all this negative, because there are equal negative parts about all numbers. Like I've come up with an even numbered list of all numbers, all their negative traits. But she's like, I've never thought about myself as like, it's never occurred to me that I'm like annoying. Like some people might think I'm annoying. It's never occurred to me that some people might not like me. Like it's never occurred to me that there are negative things about the way I'm living. And because one of the bad things about being a 7 is that you actually don't really have good coping skills for when things do get bad, other than like trying to make them not be bad.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know what to do with any of this. Like this sucks and it just sucks and I can't make it not suck.
Yeah. Like internally, right? It's like if you've never thought about it that way, like to me, I'm having a blast all the time, right?
Right.
People,
of course. That's what she said. She's like, I've lived my whole life having a great time.
Yeah, like people seem to like me, like I have great relationships with my friends, whatever. But then like there may be times when some of those things that you fall to in stress are starting to affect the people around you, and they're like, this guy's kind of being an a-hole, like whatever. And I'm just like, no, like I'm having a great time. Which is, again, not the most healthy thing.
Yeah. All right. This is my last question that I ask everybody at the end of every podcast. How old are you? You're
28.
Okay, if you could go back 10 years and you could talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
My gut instinct is to say, and maybe this is something that a 7 would come through. My gut instinct is to say, like, nothing. Like, I am very happy with where everything...
I think that's very 7.
I'm very happy with, like, where my life has ended up. I don't think I would want to change things. And, like, I would tell myself at 18 to go learn all the things that I learned when I was 18, 19 years old. Because those were also very, very... I guess, 18 to 22, really my college years were very formative for me in, like, my personality as it is now. So maybe that's a boring answer, but, like, I don't know that I would want to change anything.
I think it's a great answer, and I think it's a great 7 answer. Like, I think that's very, very illustrative, is that a word?
Yeah.
Of 7s. So I think that's great.
Right?
Okay. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll see you in real life soon. I usually don't get to say that to people at the end of these.
I'm sure I'll see you within a week or two.
Within a week or two. Great.